You'd like to see some of the, you see this brown growth you see grew last year. So where that brown growth is to the first bud should be a 1/4 inch plus a little bit.
Yeah, see that's definitely a basal bud. If you were going to leave this to a 2-bud shoot, there's one, there's two. You can see the difference. See how small that bud is compared to the size of that one. That's going to give you a full shoot. This is probably going to give you a weak shoot and not as fruitful. When you make the cut, you always cut with the blade side, like that.
There's two sides. There's the fat side, and then there's the fat side, and then the skinny side. The skinny side will make that clean cut.
So you're always,
rather than like that.
You're always looking for that angle to take stuff off, so you get it right up next to it and cut clean through it.
The idea is just to leave a spur, 2-bud spur.
Okay.
And basically what you're trying to do, and I don't tell my guys, leave 4 per arm, because the arm may be this short, or it may be that long. So all we're trying to do is fill up this wire. And I don't care where the plant begins or ends. I'm filling the wire up. If this is the wire, spur, 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 spur. I don't care where the plant is. So it's spacing more than so many per plant.
All things being equal, you would retain the spur that lengthens the arm the least on a system like this. However, strength and position trump everything, I think. So it's, if you need, for some reason you needed this one to head this way, you would remove this one. But since this one is on this cordon heading this way, you would probably take that one off.
And again, you may do the other one. I may use the other one. That's a tough one to think about. But what I always try and tell my guys is, the theory behind it is I'd like it here in a perfect world, here, here, here. So this is where my key is, get right to here. So when we go like this shoot positioning, this one might be tough because the shoot comes out here. And now we got to try and work it into this wire. If this one, like these ones, grew straight up, a lot less work. So I may even take some of them off that, even though are accounting spur for me, I may take it off because I know that it'll be there in August going, oh, look at the nice fruit, and I'll hit it with a tractor or something, or my guys will break it, or the wind will break it off. So I make it easy on myself, cut it off right now. I'm telling that vine, I want everything to grow up straight. And you really don't lose that many spurs that way, but the goal is to keep it on that wire system right here, straight as possible.
On a spur prune cordon system, you're always replacing, moving new ones in, cutting the old ones out. These vines are fairly young, so it hasn't needed that yet.
When we go to shoot thin, there'll be a lot of extra shoots come out of here. And if there's a green shoot coming out of here, somewhere in a better location, I will leave that. Leave this one for fruit this year. If it grows decent enough for a little spur next year, this comes off, and now I have a nice new renewal spur where I want it. So you have to tell the vine what you want it to do. Even though we leave a 2-bud spur here, it'll say, I want to do 5. It'll push 5 shoots. No, 2-bud spur, you come back in and do your fingers shoot thinning and just leave 2. So this one here would have a 2-bud spur here. I don't know, is that a bud up there?
Kind of,
Yeah, minimal.
2, 1 there. I have no choice here. This one must have busted off. This lower spur must have busted off.
So you're always maintaining for future position? Then?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, position, because again, if I'm doing it, I could, be a little more careful. But when you have people working for you that just are in a rush to get things going, they snap shoots that aren't really in a good position. So I'm always thinking about next year's pruning. Hey, this is not too good. We'll leave for fruit this year, and a little green one hopefully will push out, and we'll leave that. So always thinking of that. Same thing with an arm that's not doing very well with Eutypa. We will leave a nice position to lay a new cane down, or even this year in some of these vineyards that didn't develop a nice cane or a nice positioned spurs, we'll lay a new cane down, start over again. The idea again is to get to that boink, spacing, boink, 2-bud spur, nice spacing. If it was for me, and I'll do this here for me, I don't like this one here, so sorry. That's what I'll do. And then I'll leave this one and right there. Okay? But this is the spacing I like. See that? So now I'm going to have 2 shoots, 2 shoots. Now that's not a great position, so I might pick something up here or leave. If there was another one, I might leave something there because I'd like to get back to that position. 2, 2, 2. And then it's easier to grow everything vertically the way it should be growing on this trellis system.
While you're pruning, prune it and look at it, and then you go, well, these are too close together. Which one would you take off? Well, I would take the one in the middle, especially because it's impacted by the wire.
And that's a good point. Because a lot of my guys go, God, it's confusing. Don't make it confusing. Cut everything 2 buds and then take 1 or 2 out. Then it becomes obvious. And I do the same thing. I can't. And then what happens is I have my guys leave them. And I come through and just go, take it. And I just, somebody else's eyes could see easily. Oh, get that one out of here. But we always worry about, well, like a lot of you guys might have left one of these 2 here. Leave it, we don't want to. And then it becomes a problem later on. Cut it off. Cut it off.
Yeah.
And see, look at the spacing on this, and all in our way nice, except for this one, which we'll try and pick up a new one, is very nice all the way through. And so how many clusters are you going to have on this one? If we leave this many spurs, how many clusters on this one? Total clusters on the whole vine.
44. You got 5 times 2. 20.
Right? That's 10. And how many on that side there? 6. 12. Huh?
There goes the crop.
10 and 12 is what, 22, 24 clusters. That's a good start for this one. Now, what if we need it? What if this keeps growing strong? Somehow we got to put more buds on. The problem is, yeah, you don't want to put a kicker, which you used to put a kicker cane up here. It looks good for a couple of years, and this gets shaded, and it just shade is enemy to fruit production and formation. So you're stuck on this kind of a system. Even laying one down here going down is going to be in the way. I know in Oregon sometimes what they'll do is leave a devigorating cane. They'll leave a cane down here and let the energy come out of that and then hack it off. You know, when the grand period of growth at the end of June is done, it slows the vine down a little by putting a rein on it, by leaving that devigorating cane. So what slows this growth down here, because we don't want it to grow any further than 3 feet, 4 feet. We don't want to go and hedge it. We want it to stop growing. Irrigation, manage that, or kick it up a little bit if you need to, or fruit load. A heavy fruit load will slow the vine down in growth. But that's one thing you have to manage, and to have a season to go see what your fruit load is and then how much the growth has been. Most people always prune to too many spurs. They always seem to do. And look at this one here. It's nice and evenly spaced. There might be a couple of less clusters on it than somebody else would take, but I guarantee this is going to have nice straight shoots, and also for next year too. And you're going to have more open shoots. You're going to have better spray penetration, and you're going to see just 2 shoots here. Look at the spacing here. See what I'm saying? You got plenty of open areas and space. Now when you go to harvest, piece of cake. When you go to prune, piece of cake. When you go to spray, piece of cake. So we told this vine on this arm we want 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 shoots coming out. That's it. Unless we want to pick up that extra one right here, little green one. But you may have 20 shoots come out of here. Again, you tell that vine to shoot, that's all you're going to get. You flick them off, the ones that come out. And I make 2 passes through just to make sure, because if you don't, the little twigs that come out of here, you're going to have to prune it now anyhow. It was a lot easier to prune with this. Quickly go through.